Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Friday, January the 15th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. It's time for the weekly wrap up. Just so you know, these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. And we bring up the weekly chart, and we can see we've had a couple gaps did not fill, but for the most part, they filled. So any of you traders taking the weekly gap, you got paid off. Now, very interesting here. You can see we crossed the open of the month a couple of times this week. We stayed within the range of the opening day of the month. And you can see here for the week, we broke out on Tuesday, but we're still above it today. And we are 57 pips below the yearly open, which is the same as the month since this is January. 134 pips off the low. And today you can see we are 99 pips below the daily open. A lot of movement there. And if you notice, we pretty much broke out of those two lows put in yesterday and the day before. So that was a nice move to the downside. And we're back inside the inside bar of, looks like 8 days ago. That's interesting. I thought I had changed that. We need to change the color here on the daily. Instead of it being indigo, we can make it lavender. Then I think we can see it a little bit better. Once again, broke out of the previous day's low. A lot of range today. We have 126 on the pound dollar. Nice ranging day. You can see here we took out the pivot point looking at the buy zone. And I believe we broke right here is where we broke the previous day's low. Oh no, that's a future pivot point. Let's see, we don't have the previous day's low here, but still above the weekly open. Rats. The green rats had a hard time because you can see here, this was the low at the time, then it got pushed down, pushed down, pushed down, and pushed down again. So green rats had to be careful. And finally you had a move out, and now we've moved back in, and we only have about an hour or so left in the trading day. I think it looks like the green rats aren't that hungry because they're not chewing their way out. But anything could happen. Here you can see we came down to S2, took out the pivot, the weekly pivot. We took that out going up and then coming right back down, seeking that weekly pivot. Miss pivots, we took out the miss pivot here. This one got taken out the very next day. So you can see no miss pivots on the daily so far, and no miss pivots on the weekly so far this year. Wick zone in and out, and this one pretty much went in, came out the other side, back in and back out. And once again, nice ranges for today at the 52 percentile. 3 days ago, we were at the 84 percentile in the range. In fact, on my, I have the HL5 set up to show the ATR. It was showing open minus ATR at 100%. It had run its ATR, and I used the ATR 14 in that particular indicator. And in fact, no, you can see here, here's the 50% level, but down here, ATRs were both, it got breached right there. So that was the full ATR. Didn't quite hit the max ATR, hit the min, not the max. But you can see it's in that ATR zone. And on the simple price action chart, 3-ball here at the bottom. There's a 3-ball here at the top, and price just is going 3-ball to 3-ball. Tried to put in a 1-ball, but failed to do so. And this hour, breaking the Walmart line at 80 up to 84. As you can see, it's price stalled in the wicks here. Now, one of the things that I've been doing is we call these stations. So this is the 70 station, this is the 80 station, and price, moves station to station, kind of like that David Bowie song. Oh, which reminds me, nobody commented. I put the link to the Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda Blues in the description the other day. In fact, Walmall reminded me. He said, "Don't forget that." I said, "Oh, he just wanted to hear me sing, and so he could tease me about it." But he didn't tease me about it. We talked earlier. But maybe he forgot to look at it. So you can see price went to the 70 station, left it 80, 90 to the 0, came back to the 90 station, and you can just see how price likes to move station to station. And so we had some consolidation up here. Price was just hanging out in the 80 station, between 80 and 90, and then finally it broke down and just came down. Then it ranged here between 40 and 60, no surprise. 40 station. You see here it ranged in the 60 station for a while too. Once again, no surprise. And then it came down here, broke the 00, and it's now been hanging between 80 and 00 for a while here. Oh, let's see. There was a trader who wanted me to talk about the euro yen. The things that I talk about for the pound dollar, you can apply them to any of the other pairs that you like to trade. You just have to learn the statistics. So, for example, the rat zone's pretty much um, current daily high minus 20, current daily low plus 20 for the pound dollar. Now, for some of the other pairs that have lesser ranges, that zone might get tightened up. You just have to run the frequency distribution to figure out those, to fine tune those zones. As far as pivots, it's the same. Trying to think what else they were asking about. Buy zones the same, wick zones the same. So you just basically can apply all of these, or whichever ones you like, to it, to that pair, or to any pair. And somebody else was asking me about pivots. If it missed the pivot, then if it comes back, does it have a better chance of hitting the pivot the next day? So you're just going to have to run your own frequency distributions, price travel, uh, analyzers on it, and whatever you come up with, that's what you come up with. I don't focus on those pairs. I've got other things. In fact, I'm working on some of the 2021 donationals. So I really don't have time to analyze pairs for you, but you know, um, do your own analysis. You're going to be trading your account. Don't rely on my analysis to trade your account. You have to learn to rely on your analysis. I don't mind helping you guys, but I can only hold your hand so far because you have to trust in your own decisions. If you trust in yourself and then you have success, that's going to build your confidence and you'll be less hesitant the next time you trade. So, yeah, sometimes it's a lot of work, but that's just part of trading. Sometimes you got to put in the effort, the time to, crunch those numbers. Let's see. Was there any other questions out there? Oh, what did I need to do? I needed to show something. Where was it here? Because I still don't know if they figured it out. Okay. If you right click on your chart, come down to properties, then come over to common, and actually, you see where you have chart shift and chart scroll. Make sure those two are checked. Now for grid, I have none. But if you put the color on the grid, oh, I don't know if you can see it. There's this little triangle up here. You see it? If you put the cursor on it, hold down the left mouse button, then you can drag it this way. And you see how it moved these things away so you don't have these price boxes overlapping. Now you see I've got the small price boxes, I notice, but the default's the bigger price boxes. So if you go in the rat zone indicator here, and let's see, where is it? Yeah, my price box width, I believe the default is 3. Just switch it over to 1, and then you don't, unless you like to having those big price boxes, that's up to you. That's why I make everything that I can. I try to make everything inputs so you can make it just the way you like it. Because some people might like the big boxes, some people might not like the boxes at all. You know, some people might want the chart all the way over. But I'm thinking if you have these overlapping here, it's probably because you don't know about how to shift the chart. But you see, when you turn off the grid, you turn off this line. Some people might like the line, but I don't like to have it because it then sometimes cuts up my gauges. So that's why I turn the background to none for the grid. Or I'm sorry, turn the color to none for the grid. Background's a different, background here is white. So if you go to properties, background's white, foregrounds. But if you want to have a different color background, you can do that too. Let's see, what color should we pick? Not dark gray. Nope, don't want to do pink because that'll mess up the zones. Oh, okay, let's hurt everybody's eyes. There you go. As you can see, not a good color for the background. Okay. So let's just put that back to white. So I think that pretty much wraps up the week. I hope everybody had a nice, profitable week. Hope you have a fun, safe weekend. And if you enjoy NFL, hope your team wins, so long as it's not one of the teams I hate. So if you're a cheesehead and like the Packers, I hope your team loses. I'm just not a fan of the Green Bay Packers. And actually, I'm kind of rooting for Brady so he can teach them all a lesson. Say, hey, don't mess with the old guys, right? So anyway, fellow traders, looking forward to seeing you next week. And when you come back next week, always remember, never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So come back and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.